Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community Church. We are a welcoming congregation where we strive to transform ourselves and the world through love, wonder, and connection. My name is Elena Brooks Perkins. I'm playing the role of Beth Mackenzie Moore today, while she cares for Jim. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve on the worship committee and as the nominating committee chair. Today, as we continue to explore the monthly theme of paying attention, we will be talking about how our attention is power and how we direct our attention affects both our personal well-being and the larger community and culture around us. Robin is going to come make an announcement about RISC.
Good morning. I'm Robin Allman, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am the UUCC team leader for RISC, and that's why I come before you today. Today's sermon will be centered on calling our attention home. When so many things in the larger world seem out of our control and beyond our reach, home is where we have the strongest relationships, and thus the greatest ability to affect change. Richmonders Involved to Strengthen Our Communities, or RISC, is a coalition of 31 congregations throughout Richmond area who work together for justice. We are not a service organization. We simply hold our elected officials accountable for the promises that they have made. RISC has been working on Affordable Housing Trust Fund for almost 13 years now. City Council just enacted a new ordinance to fund it, so we hope that we will finally win on this front, but we shall see on Tuesday. What's happening Tuesday? Well, if you've been paying attention, Tuesday is the Nehemiah Action. We hope to gather 2,700 people to pressure our officials to do what they have said they would do. Sometimes this is uncomfortable. There are silences, differences of opinion, and sometimes compromise. There is never any booing or hissing or jeering, but when we do get a commitment, we do cheer. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Affordable Housing Trust Fund isn't really my passion. Fine. We are also celebrating Richmond taking the first steps to finally reduce gun violence this summer. And going forward, and we worked on that 7 years, going forward, we will be seeking actionable solutions to the mental health crisis affecting children in Chesterfield County. So, asking a question for you all, how many of you have been asked to join us at the Nehemiah Action? Raise your hands. Okay. Now, how many of you said yes? Thank you. All right. How many of you like a good tailgate? Oh, come on. This side of the room, nobody likes a tailgate on this side of the room? Okay. All right. Okay, good. Yeah, more for us. Yeah. We have empanadas. If you like a good tailgate, and how many of you can spend a few hours just sitting for justice and calling attention to the pressing issues here at home? Thank you. So please see one of our justice ministers. Justice ministers, can you stand up if you're here? We have a lot of them, but there are some of them. So find one of them, get a card, come to the Nehemiah Action on Tuesday. The tailgate is from 5:15 to 6 o'clock, and the action is from 6:30 to 8:30. Be there or be square. Please see a place where democracy still happens. And say it with me now, because justice demands RISC. Thank you.
And Cindy has an announcement about the Tidewater Cluster Gathering.
Good morning. I'm I'm Cindy Paris. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the UUCC liaison to the Tidewater Cluster this year. And we have a meeting coming up in Williamsburg on Saturday, April 25th. So it's still a month away, but the congregations from the 7 congregations of the cluster will be meeting in Williamsburg for our annual gathering. This year we have, I've got the right word down here. We are delighted to announce that, that the keynote speaker is the president of the UUA, Sophia Betancourt. And, you know, it's been a while before we could announce this, but we are, you know, strongly announcing this. She's incredible. And she will be speaking on To Love as If It Matters, Meeting the Moment in Difficult Times. And this is one of those. So you can register on the website, on the UUA website. You can register through the e-news. You've probably been seeing the signs for the Tidewater Cluster up on the screen. Oh, look, there it is. And so follow through. If you register before April 1st, you can order one of those neat cluster t-shirts. And actually, I think there will be more of these bags that are left over from last year that you can get. So I hope to see you all signing up and registering, and we're going to have a good time. Thank you.
Seating is limited, only 200.
He did this last year, yes.
What an exciting birthday for Adina. Whether you are here for the first time or the 1,000th time, welcome. Whatever you are facing in your own life, welcome. This is a place where we try our best to be real with one another, to get through hard things together and remind ourselves of the values that ground and center us, motivate and move us. Whoever you are, whatever your faith journey, whomever you love, you are welcome here. We welcome all who seek to know the sacred and all who seek to make our world more just. Our chalice lighting words are a call to worship called We Practice Being Called from Samantha Lynn Wilson. Kieran will light our chalice. A call to worship is secretly a call to focus our attention. Choosing to focus our attention is counterculture. Daily, we are called to worship at the altar of many devices, surveillance systems we let take lead over our every waking moment. We are called by headlines set purely on our activation and by tools that gamify our every human connection. We are not called, we are led. We are not led, we are entrapped. Instead, here, we practice being called. We are called to bring our attention to the altar of unpredictable human relatedness. We are called to these ancestors that land this land, the room's particular light, the chalice's particular fire, and these children. We are called to focus our attention on a foolhardy and open-hearted commitment to share a future together we cannot cancel nor control. In the words of the poet farmer Wendell Berry, we are called here to do something today that does not compute. Spirit of life, call our collective attention to this precise moment, the threshold between then and now, the moment upon which we hang our honest promises like portraits, chiseled and framed by our own hands, imperfectly and together. Come, let us worship together. We'll sing our opening song called Listening, written by Leah Morris. Jonathan is going to help us learn it, and we can stay seated.
Hello. Turn the music
And the last bit, you already know. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. Yeah, let's do the whole song. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. And that part again. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. My eyes are wide open. My eyes are now open to see what I may be. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me.
I'm Reverend Sarah, and I use she, her pronouns to remind us that our commitment as a congregation is to be together in covenant. We share these affirmation words. Will you please join me, beginning with that all-important word? Love is the message of this church, and service is our way. This is our great covenant together, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We return to our centers of connection every week because we know that rituals bring us closer together. We light our candles of hope and joy and place our stones of sorrows and fear to honor these inner experiences together. As the folks in the room participate in this ritual, those of you joining us online, I invite you to use the chat to participate. Write your name and stone or candle, or both stone and candle, and we will include you at the end of the ritual. If you're in the room and would like someone to light a candle or place a stone for you, we will do that at that same time. So anyone who would like to can come forward now to light a candle or place a stone. There are 2 lines for candles, and stones are down the center, so you can do all as you are called to do. Michelle Matthews has requested a stone. If you would like a stone placed for you and you're in the room, please raise your hand. Adina will place a stone for you. And now we place the one final stone, our big, big stone that symbolizes all the things that weigh us down. And now we light a candle for those who are online. Michelle Matthews has requested a candle. And Maya. Maria. Typing error. And anyone in the room who would like a candle lit for you, please raise your hand. They will acknowledge you when you have been indicated. So keep your hand until they acknowledge you. And we place one final candle for all the joys and hopes that continue to burn brightly within us as we move into whatever is coming this week. Please join in singing our sung prayer response, There is a Love.
My name is Adina Danuf. I use they or she pronouns, and I am your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. And you might have heard by now that our theme for the month is paying attention. Are you one of my children? We didn't even plan that. Okay, but sometimes we have to pay attention to what we should pay attention to. It's a little confusing. So our friends at Soul Matters gave us a story that I think will help us think it through. And most of you don't know, but I'm going to have a few of you come help me out. So, once upon a time, Robin, there was a fruit vendor. Okay, so the fruit vendor wanted to attract new customers to their cart. And they decided, hold on. There we go. They were going to put up a board. You may not be able to see it over there, but there's a board. Oh, you can see it there. Perfect. Okay. So they were going to put up a board near their cart that said fresh fruit sold here. Now, Stephen. One day, someone came to them and said, so I'm going to say the words. Take note, everybody pay attention, because you might be told to do this too. I'm going to say the words and you just repeat after me, okay? We have seen you sell fruits.
We have seen you sell fruit.
And most of the time, the fruit is fresh.
And most of the time, the fruit is fresh.
So why have you put up a board saying fresh?
So why have you put up a board saying fresh?
You don't need to write it.
You don't need to write it.
We already know.
We already know.
So you should rub the word fresh off the board.
So you should rub the word fresh off the board.
Thanks, you can go back. Round of applause, first time. to make this cleaner, I have too many pockets. I got this for you. Okay. So the vendor rubbed the word fresh off the board, and now the board says, fruit sold here. Okay. Now, Isla, come on up. They really don't know. I wrote this down myself. Is this, yeah, okay. And after some time, someone else came up and said, repeat after me, hey!
Hey,
We know you're selling fruits and not vegetables.
we know you're selling fruits, not vegetables.
It sounded like something you would say. So why have the word fruits on your board?
Why do you have the word fruits on there?
You should really wipe off the word fruit.
Wipe off fruits.
Okay. So the vendor complied. And now left on the board were only two words, sold here. And after some time, Balin came around. And they said, repeat after me, if you are sitting in the market,
If you are sitting in the market,
we know you aren't giving fruit away for free.
we know you aren't selling fruit for free.
You should really change it
You should really change it
and take the word sold off the board.
and take the word sold off the board.
Good job, Balin. And the vendor did so, and now the whiteboard had only one word left, here. And then Micah showed up. Or not. Do you want to show up, Micah? Yeah, okay. Again, they didn't know. Can you repeat after me? Yeah? Okay. Nice and close. Say, we can all see
We can all see
that you are sitting here
that you're sitting here
and not there.
and not there.
Why have the word here
I have the word here
on that board?
on that board.
The end. So the fruit vendor erased the last word from the board, and the board was now clear and empty. And as happens, Peter Defer walked by. And he said to the fruit vendor, only a silly person
Only a silly person
would keep such a nice board empty.
would keep such a nice board empty.
Why don't you write something
Are you going to write something on that
to advertise that fresh fruits are sold here?
advertising that you sell fresh fruits here?
The end. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Peter. Sure. So thank you to our unsuspecting fruit vendor and players. Paying attention to advice doesn't always mean just following the advice given. We all get a lot of advice given to us all the time, from people, doctors, teachers, the television, the internet, and sometimes that advice is helpful, right? Yeah? And sometimes it's confusing. And sometimes, even when people mean well, their voices can drown out our own voices and thoughts. Now, what I love about the story is it reminds us that while it's good to listen to others, we also need to pay attention to the wisdom within ourselves. So, when we follow outside voices, we also need to check in with that inner voice because we can lose what truly matters to us. My challenge to you this week is when you hear something from the outside, pause, check your board, right? Does it make sense to add or erase whatever the person was talking about? If yes, great, go for it. If not, maybe paying attention to what they're trying to say in a different way, okay? Either way, giving your attention isn't free. That's why we call it paying attention. Some of you are listening, right? Because it's a part of you. It's a part of you. So now, some of you should come to class with me, and that's advice you can pay attention to.
fourth Sunday of every month, we share the plate with an organization that is doing important work in our community. This week, we are giving our offering to NAMI Central Virginia. They're a nonprofit organization providing free educational programs and peer-led support groups for people living with mental illness and their loved ones in the community. So I'm going to invite up Beth Miller to share more about their work.
First, thank you all for being aware of mental illness and being aware of NAMI Central Virginia. I am so impressed how informed you all are. I want to get to what we really do the most of, and that is support groups. Free support groups for people with mental illness and separate support groups for those who have a loved one with a mental illness. We're very lucky that in the greater Richmond area, we have 3 support groups for those with mental illness and 3 support groups for the family members. And we're very proud of that because often the family members are struggling mightily and have almost nowhere to go for support. So the comments we get the most are, it's so wonderful to know I'm not alone in this struggle. And they learn from each other, and they support each other. They, I, we also. So we see at least 150 people a month through our groups, which meet twice a month. And it's not the same people every week, every month when we meet, and the same for the support groups. Additionally, we have a helpline, and we probably get calls from 100 people a month, so to speak, in all sorts of struggling areas where mental health intersects with the criminal justice system, where there's no beds in the hospitals, where I love with my son, but he's driving me crazy, and how am I going to survive this? So we're so grateful we can offer all of this. And twice a year we offer an educational class, an 8-week educational class on the greater aspects of mental illness, including communication. And communication is number one, how to get better at we the well people's communication skills with those the ill people. So I want to give you 2 tips. This time of year, springtime, is a miserable time for many people with bipolar disorder. And additionally, if you're going to think about what can I do, how can I give, how can I help people with mental illness, number 1, listen to them. Just listen and be there and listen. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to solve it. You don't have to worry about the right thing to say. Just be there and listen. So thank you all for understanding and being with us on this journey and considering us. So thank you very much.
Thank you. May we give in love and in hope. Thank you for your offering and all the ways you give to our ministry with your time, talent, treasure, and trust. Together, our gifts allow us to expand and strengthen the tapestry of love, wonder, and connection that blesses this church and transforms our world. Our reading is How to Be Dead by Lisa Owens Vianney. Do not feel the sun cascading on your shoulders like a warm waterfall as you walk. Do not watch the violet green shallows skimming overhead at so close that a strand of your hair lifts and falls in their wake. Do not notice the pale green, just emerging leaves of the persimmon tree, the oak trees, the frothy blossoms of the apple tree and the cherry. Do not pet every dog you see on your walk, from the friendliest pit bull Petey to the joyful ball-obsessed cocker spaniel. Do not listen to exquisite music in one ear, birdsong in the other. Refuse to feel the sweetness of it all.
Maybe not a life like you and
He's so talented. Okay. And now for our sermon. So there is a story about two wolves that is falsely but almost universally attributed to Native American lore, but actually is a made-up story coming out of evangelical Christianity. I mean, Billy Graham is the one who popularized it, so that tells you something. But the story goes like this. An older person tells their young charge that there are two wolves inside you, one good and one evil, equal in every other way, and they're always fighting. Well, which one wins? Asks the young one. The one you feed more, replies the mentor. This was such a universally resonant revelation that it made its way into churches and through secular life into the popular culture. I'm sure you knew exactly what I was going to say when I was telling that story. The point of the story has been used to illustrate a reality of being human. What we turn our attention to becomes more important to us. And as we turn our limited attention towards something, everything else becomes less important to us. If we turn our attention to something that makes us feel bad, it becomes stronger, looms over our lives as it expands and grows, making us feel even more bad. If we turn our attention to what feels good, that feeling that grows and expands in our lives, making us feel even more good. Now, I'm not saying that we're all better off dropping all our cares and going deep into toxic positivity to pretend that everything is good and happy when everything is not, and we are not when we are living in these challenging times. That is a dangerous delusion that will create a rift within us. That is not the way forward. As we've been reflecting on this whole month, we are still responsible for experiencing the world in all its upside-down complexities, and for dealing with our responses to the world, for dealing with our feelings that are physically manifested in our bodies. We are responsible for paying attention to how we are affected by the world. So what I'm saying is your attention is a commodity that feeds the wolves. Which wolf do you want to feed more? The one that feeds into your fears and insecurities, or the one that brings you hope and connection? The folks who sell you the news want you to put your attention on their publication so they can sell more ads. And they know that people pay the most attention to the horrifying, dangerous, and upsetting stories because they know that when we're scared or angry, we want to get more information. We want to know more. We want to continue to paying attention. Your attention is the commodity when it comes to traditional media. Selling your attention to advertisers so they can get their product in front of more viewers is the driving force behind media all the way back to the days when newspapers were the only source of timely information. In 1836, in Paris, a newspaper decided to become the first to rely on paid advertising to lower its price, extend its readership, and increase its profitability. And the truth is, our attention and our personal information are the hottest commodity that there is in this market. Our personal information connects us to corporations. It helps corporations learn how to best personalize their advertising, how to best personalize their pricing, how to get our attention for our specific circumstances. Our personal information helps companies to buy our attention even more efficiently. But we do have a choice in the matter. We can choose to practice being called to bring our attention to the altar of unpredictable human relatedness instead, as we heard in our chalice lighting. We can choose to put our attention on something we find worthy, to choose connection instead of isolation. Okay, side quest time. The origin of the word worship is with Old English words that smooshes together worth and ship. Worthship, to give worth to something, to give our attention to something we find important. So worship is what we do when we aim our attention in a particular direction. So we like to think that it's a particularly religious thing. Wow, I'm working on the words today. We might like to think that it's a particularly religious thing to worship, but we also say folks worship at the altar of fill in the blank, money, power, success, which means that those folks value that thing, money, for example, too much. We give it too much worth, let it weigh the scales too heavily in one direction. When we focus our attention on something, it becomes more powerful in our lives. When we focus too much on fear, we lose track of what we have or experience that brings us joy. Somehow I learned pretty early that focusing on tragedy to the point of ruminating in fear and despair was unhealthy. Maybe I was unhealthily avoidant, but I somehow knew that I needed to protect myself from the news when I had the chance. Here's a long story. Trigger warning for September 11th, y'all. Just before my sophomore year in college, just after returning from a trip to Boston, I was awoken by the news that the Twin Towers had been hit by airplanes. I watched the news with my mom for a couple of hours while she got ready for work, and we watched the towers collapse live. I didn't have much going on that day because school hadn't started yet, so I watched the news for a couple more hours by myself, and after a while, I noticed that I was feeling really bad. I noticed that each time they showed the footage of what happened, I was just as upset as the first time. So I turned it off. I put on a VHS of Clerks, which is probably why I don't like that movie that much anymore, but I loved it then. Later that day, I met up with two of my good friends because we were going to celebrate one of my friend's birthdays. It was her 18th birthday that day. But first, we went to someone's house to buy the other friend her first car. In her house, the woman who was selling the car on a big screen TV, she was still playing the news, and she was still very upset. We went from there to a bowling alley where all their TVs were turned to the news, and the employees clearly didn't want to be there. We considered not bowling, but we decided that we had to celebrate my friend's birthday that day. We had to. I learned that it was possible to be deeply affected by something terrible and still celebrate life, and to be excited to buy a first car, and to eat cake and to have fun. If we had only focused on the terrible things, we wouldn't have experienced that joy. So if we focus on balancing our attention, we are more able to feel the complexities of life, the joy and the sorrow, the fear and the hope can all be present within us. This morning, Sean sang a song from the musical A Secret Garden. I asked that he and Jonathan prepare this song because it speaks to the life that continues even when we think everything has died, to looking beyond the surface to what is beneath. The brown, dead-looking branch, if it still has green inside, will grow. Yes, it's also because it's about the beginning of spring. Thank goodness it's spring. And The plants and the flowers are coming to life. They're blooming after a long winter's hibernation. But in the story of the secret garden, the garden was a metaphor for the children in the center of the story and how they just needed to be nurtured and have something to nurture so that they could be whole. The main character, Mary, is an orphan who's cantankerous and out of place in the home of a distant family member. And Colin, her cousin, is the sickly son of the house who's confined to a wheelchair. These two children who are both coddled and uncared for find that when they put their effort and care into tending this garden, into paying attention to a garden, they can find joy and hope. When we put our attention towards creating, tending growth, or supporting others, we are choosing to use our power to create hope and joy. When we show up for something we care about, we are bringing our attention to that thing, but we're also calling others' attention to that thing. For example, as we partner with RISC, that is hosting this huge action to influence our local government. This Nehemiah Action requires that folks show up to prove to the city council and the mayor that we are serious about the actions we are fired up about. We have been talking about this for months here. It's happening this Tuesday. Robin's already told us this, and you can talk to Robin or any of those justice ministers to get more information. And there's empanadas, y'all. But the point is, when we show up, it matters. Like it will matter to show up for the next No Kings protest later this week on Saturday the 28th. Like it matters when we show up for our church friends when they have unexpected needs. Like it matters when we show up for our neighbors to learn how to protect them from ICE at the meeting at First UU on April 19th. Like it matters that we all get out to vote on the new congressional district maps before April 21st. Like it matters that we call our representatives in all levels of government to object to legislation that legalizes limiting the rights of trans people. Like it matters that we show up for ourselves by taking care of our needs as well as trying to save the world. In the immortal words of the White Rabbit, don't just do something, stand there. We need to also rest and repair ourselves as we use our attention to show up. We need to find the balance in ourselves to pay attention to what needs attention, what is worthy of our attention, like our well-being and our families, like protecting each other as best we can from what's coming, whatever that may be. Will you take a moment now to just stand there with me, but sitting? I'll invite you now to find a comfortable place for your body, whatever that is. Notice your breathing. Take a moment to just be. Our prayerful words today are All at Once, a poem by Eve Driver. Just allow the images to come through your mind. It's all blooming too quickly to write a poem about it. I cannot blink enough times and still see everything that needs to be added to the list of beautiful things. Why is it that the good begets the good until there is more of it than any of us need right now? More dogs, more wide-legged trousers, More people sitting down at picnic tables and introducing themselves for the first time. More children running around the bases. More women laying on benches with books in their hands and rollerblades on their feet. Where was all this, I want to ask, when we needed it? Where will it be when we need it again? If I sit at enough sidewalk tables and do enough slow laps around the block, will it linger on me like the smell of fire on jeans the next morning? Or must I scream to everyone, come right now? You gotta see this. If you don't come now, you'll miss it. You'll miss it. We hold so much in the love and the light these days. The world in all its complexities. The humans in all our complexities. Beloveds in all our complexities. May we pay attention to what is worthy now. Amen. So we're going to sing a song, but not yet. It's called Turn the World Around, and it was written by Harry Belafonte, but don't worry about it yet. Because the word, unfortunately, includes a slur that is a gay slur in Jamaican patois, which Belafonte didn't know about when he wrote the song. Belafonte confessed that it was something he had heard as a little boy and thought it was just a joyful exclamation, and his intention certainly was not to hurt anyone, but the song contained a word that did. He told my colleague that we shouldn't sing it anymore, but we love this song, so we're going to not say that part. So we're going to sing the song, and we're going to sing the verse and then sort of the chorus, and it's going to be the same every time instead of changing to the one with the word we don't want to share. The lyrics are correct on the screen, so follow that as much as you can, even if you have the book. Are we ready? Okay, rise in body or in spirit. We come from the fire, living in the fire, go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water, go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain, we go to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. So is life. Whoa, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are? Do you know who I am? Who we are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Whoa, so is life. So is life. 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 In preparation for closing, reach out to those around you if you are comfortable holding hands. Elbows are fine too. Holding hands is not required. When you go, pay attention to what matters. Pay attention, it is all we have to give. When you go, go in peace. Salam and shalom.
Leave this place knowing that you are good and knowing that you are loved.
Take your dark and your light and your love from this place and share them with the world. And stay safe until we meet again. Amen.
Thank you. Please enjoy coffee hour in our lobby.